Have you ever suddenly thought about someone and seconds later they text you? Or you feel this strange emotional pull towards someone you haven't spoken to in months, yet somehow they reappear. Most people brush this off as coincidence, but psychology, emotional bonding research, and even neuroscience suggest something deeper. When two people share a strong emotional connection, their minds can become psychologically synchronized. So today we are exploring the signs you both might be thinking about each other, the psychology behind emotional connection, and how to tell intuition apart from visual thinking. And trust me, some of these signs might surprise you. So let's begin. Um, Number one is sudden and unexplained thought about someone. Okay, you could be busy working, studying, watching, or something, but they suddenly they pop into your mind. Not casually, not logically, but vividly. You might remember their voice, their laugh, even small details. So, what this happens, emotional bonds create neural pathways in memory, and strong emotional connections activate faster recall. When both people share unresolved emotional energy, thoughts can resurface simultaneously. And this isn't mystical necessary, it's emotional conditioning. And when it happens repeatedly, then that's when people start noticing patterns and you both reach out at the same time. Then this one is incredibly common. You pick up your phone to text them and their message appears first. Or they say, I was literally just thinking about you. This reflects emotional attunement, shared experiences, and similar mental triggers. People connected emotionally often think of each other during stress, happiness, major life moments. Your brain associates them with emotional safety. And then strong emotional waves without clear reason. Sometimes you suddenly feel happy thinking of them, nostalgic, restless, calm, or even slightly anxious, without external triggers. And psychology calls this emotional resonance. When someone important is thinking about you, memories activate emotional circuits. And even if you don't consciously realize that. Now, dreaming about each other frequently. Dreams process unresolved emotions. If both people still think about each other, they may appear in dreams. Conversations replay, emotional scenarios unfold, and dreams aren't telepathy. But they show your subconscious is processing emotional attachment. And often both people experience this in many couples or ex-partners report mutual dreaming during emotional intense periods. So unexpected reminders everywhere. You hear their favorite song, someone mentions their name, or you see something connected to them repeatedly. And the psychology calls it the reticular activating system effect. Once someone is emotionally important, your brain notices reminders more often. But here is the interesting part. Often they report the same thing, that's shared emotional imprinting. Intuitive feeling that they'll contact you is you just know no evidence, no reason, yet they call or text soon after, and that this isn't psychic necessarily, it's a pattern recognition. Then emotional familiarity in behavioral prediction. Your brain remembers their habits, their timing, emotional cycles, and predicts subconsciously. Then mutual social media curiosity. You check their profile, later you find they viewed yours, and you both of you suddenly became more active online at the same time. And digital behavior mirrors emotional interest, and it often reflects ongoing thoughts. Conversations resume effortlessly. When you talk again, it feels natural immediately, and no awkwardness. This usually means emotional connection never fully faded, because mutual thinking keeps the emotional bridge intact. Then, physical sensation triggered by thoughts. Some people experience butterflies, warm chest feeling, slight nervousness, discomfort just thinking about them, and this is neurological. Your brain associates them with dopamine, oxytocin, or adrenaline, and those responses can activate even without their presence. So now, shade timing patterns. You notice both online at the same time, similar sleep changes, and mood shifts happening together. Close emotion connections often sign daily rhythms, especially if you have spent significant time together before. So now, friends or others mention them randomly without prompting. Someone suddenly brings them up, and this often happens because emotion network overlap socially. Memories trigger conversation chains, and but it still feels meaningful. Then emotional closure feels incomplete if something feels unfinished. Your brain keeps revisiting that person, and there's likely does too. And unresolved emotional stories rarely disappear. Now, coincidences that feel personal, repeated accidental encounters, same places, same things, same events. What chance plays a role, emotional familiarity often pulls people into similar spaces. Shared interests create overlapping environments. And then body language memory activation. When, think, when thinking of them, you might unconsciously smile, relax, change posture. Your body remembers emotional safety, and you feel understood even without talking. Here is a sense they get me, and that's emotional imprinting, and it tends to be mutual. Now, I want to share important reality check. That's very important. Let's say grounded. Not every thought means they're thinking about you. Sometimes it's nostalgia, loneliness, habit, and wishful thinking. Healthy emotional awareness means not over romanticizing coincidence, but not dismissing emotional connections either. And then balance matters. Now, I just want to give some psychological explanations of mutual thinking. Then there are three main reasons. Now, one is emotional bonding. Shared experiences create lasting neural associations. Then attachment patterns. Secure, anxious, or avoidant attachment affects recurring thoughts. And one of the most important is secure attachment. Secure attachment is very secure, okay? And if you have secure attachment patterns and you both respect each other boundaries and you both are at a good place. But if you have anxious attachment, it will keep you in this specific loop of just thinking about them repeatedly, repeatedly, and repeatedly, and that will make you more anxious about them. And that leads to suspiciousness too. Then memory reinforcement. Emotions strength and memory retention. So mutual thinking is often psychological, not supernatural. So what do you do if this happens? Ask yourself, is this connection healthy? Does it bring peace or stress? Or should I reconnect or let go? That awareness prevents emotional confusion. Sometimes you notice you suddenly feel low, and then later you find out that they were struggling too. You feel uplifted, and they reach out in a positive mood and emotional way. You seem strangely synchronized, okay? The psychologically, this happens because strong emotional bonds create lasting empathetic sensitivity, and when you are deeply connected with someone, your brain stays tuned to their emotional patterns. Even small cues or memories can trigger parallel feelings, but it's less about telepathy and more about emotional conditioning. And when you replay conversations repeatedly, you just don't remember them. You replay old chats, voice notes, shared jokes, or emotional moments, and often they admit doing the same. So this shows emotional significance, unresolved curiosity, a meaningful attachment. And the brain revisits emotional intense moments because it seeks understanding or completion. Connection and emotional connectivity is very, very necessary in every relationship. If you are not emotionally connected with each other, then it is very difficult. Because when you are emotionally connected, you both remember few things, a lot of things about each other, and it will be really easier for you to remember them, to recall them, and that person will stay in your mind, okay? And you'll just keep on thinking about that person. If someone talks like him or walk like him, or says some words about like the way he says, it means that that person is in your mind. So now growth reminds you of them as you grow emotionally or mentally. You think they would understand this, and I wish they could see this version of me. And sometimes they reach out during their growth phases. This reflects identity like attachment. And when someone witnesses important phases of your life, your brain associates growth with them. And that connection often remains mutual. So silence feels loud between you. Even without communication, there is a noticeable emotional silence. Not neutral, but charged. And this usually means emotional investment still exists on both sides. And this my mind keeps revisiting unfinished emotional chapters, and silence itself becomes a form of communication. But always remember that communication is very necessary. The way you guys communicate with each other, the way you guys share your experiences with each other, and you guys are not even afraid of what he or she will be thinking about me if I would share this thing. This hesitation should not be in your relationship. If you are being hesitant or shy, or you are being fearful of what the other person would feel or what they would say about me, then it means that there you have to work on your communication. You have to resolve all those things, and there are some things and that needs to be resolved. And even if you guys are free to share anything about each other, it means that you guys are at least respecting each other, and you guys care about each other, and that is the foremost thing. So you sense when it's time to let go or reconnect. Eventually clarity appears, and you feel either a strong urge to reconnect or peaceful acceptance to move on. And interestingly, many people report the other person reaching out exactly during the transition. And that's because emotional cycles tend to resolve simultaneously when both individuals process similar memories. And it's psychological closure unfolding. And you can now see that have given you a lot of cues about like how it happens and all, but now you can see that emotional bonding, attachment patterns, and memory reinforcement is really, really necessary. The emotional part is really necessary in every relationship, okay? So I just want to share like times two people think about each other because their story isn't finished. Sometimes it's love, sometimes healing, sometimes closure, but the most important thing is stay emotionally aware, respect your mental health, and never lose yourself in someone else's thoughts. Because the healthiest connection is the one you both people grow. It's not just remember. Okay? So, if you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with someone who might be thinking about you right now. Take care of your heart. I'll see you soon in the next video. Okay, see you soon. Goodbye.